Any avid video game fan knows developers love their secrets. Whether it's slapping their faces onto everything in-game they can, to devising secret rooms full of Easter egg treasure. Devs love to have a bit of fun with those invested enough to go poking around their weird and wonderful worlds. But it's encounters that make the trekking, battling, and downright grinding all worth it. From urban legends and mythological creatures to their own bizarre creations, there's something wholesome about interacting with something new when you thought you'd seen it all. Yes, there's nothing more wholesome than finding something special, and then brutally murdering it, of course. Get out your dowsing rods and load up the walkthrough, as I'm Ash from WhatCulture Gaming, and these are 8 secret video game enemies you must find.
Hey, just quickly to pop in before the list actually starts, I just want to talk to you about That Film Theory. If you don't know what that is yet, it's a brand new channel that's going to be about video essays, cinematic experiences, a bit more relaxed approach. Hopefully we'll see you there. You can find the details down below.
8. The Cow King, Diablo 2. Let's throw our minds back to a happier time and one of the worst kept secrets in gaming, when Blizzard celebrated its fanbase with one of its strangest and, by extension, most brilliant additions to the Diablo lore. The Cow King came as an answer to repeated rumours of such a boss existing in the first Diablo game, conjured up in response to the dialogue that happened when interacting with your average cow friends. Yup, that's a cow alright. Seems innocuous enough, right? Well, yes, right. The cows in the first Diablo were exactly that. In Diablo 2, however, a secret cow level has been put in place where the player can actually get toe-to-hoof with the bovine baddie himself. A bipedal cowman with a giant spear that summons a whole herd of similar farmyard friends for you to defeat. All it takes is defeating the game, heading back to the first area, and opening up a portal to the dimension of cow. Blizzard have repeatedly made fun of the cow rumours in plenty of their releases, even using "there is no cow" level as a cheat code in StarCraft. Question everything, folks. You might just get the King of Hell bovine as a reward. 7. Urban Legends, Fallout 76. The ravaged lands of Appalachia are rife with creatures of myth like the Mothman, the Flatwoods Monster, and the Snallygaster, all of which come from the local tales of strange creatures appearing to UFO enthusiasts and other general weirdos in our own very real world. Cited to be legendary boss-level spawns worth hunting down in their territories, these bad boys are rare to stumble across, but some dedicated hunting should lead you in the right direction. Scratching around the Mothman's very own museum is a good place to start for him, or turning on the giant lighthouse lamp. Moth loves lamp, after all. Honestly, it's such a fun idea, it's a surprise it hasn't been implemented before. Being able to actively take part in an online multiplayer as what amounts to be a cryptozoologist offers up all sorts of wild opportunities, with the creatures discovered so far able to bestow certain perks if they're treated nicely, or provide an intense battle if you unjustly laser rifle the majestic, wise old monsters between the eyes as you run past and then teabag their body. Ah, the beauty of online gameplay. 6. Moon Presence, Bloodborne. Bloodborne is full of nasty tricks and turns, one of the most dastardly offerings from Dark Souls' own creator that will see you lose your mind as well as your hard-earned progress with each respawn at a dang bonfire. Whilst the whole ethos of the series is getting good to beat the baddest baddies, there's one that many may have missed on their playthrough for the sheer specificity of its encounter. If you weren't partial to snacking on umbilical cords, then what is wrong with you? You better get used to it. Facing up to the tentacle-clad moon presence comes only after using, or rather consuming, 3 of the 4 umbilical cord pieces before the final boss battle with German, the first hunter. This unlocks the final battle and in turn, the true ending to the game, conjuring forth the whole face, skeletal torso, slippery octopus head forth from the front of a blood moon to smite in true Bloodborne style. Whilst it isn't as mind-numbing as the first fight with Dark Beast Parl, it's a pretty similar smackdown. It's the end of the game, you'll have the hang of it by now. 5. Vampire, Red Dead Redemption 2. Red Dead Redemption 2's absolutely mammoth 60+ hour playtime has plenty of secrets sewn throughout, and with its release coming so recently, most of them are yet to be discovered. It's a beautiful, hard look at the difficulties of living on the frontier, America's unforgiving heartland taking at every opportunity it gets. As such, the game is deeply rooted in realistic endeavours. You have to eat to keep your health and stamina strong, you have to brush your horse and wash your damn face, apart from a couple of standout moments. And one such moment is a bloody creature of the night feasting on the residents of Saint Denis. That's right, in this tale of hardship in the Wild West, Rockstar have gone full Dusk Till Dawn and dropped a vampire in the middle of it. All you need to do to spark the questline is find the 5 instances of graffiti around the town and it's yours for the taking. It's a bizarre little takeaway that offers something more fun than your average bar brawl. Just make sure you load it up on garlicky items and you'll be good to go, or at least, you'd hope. 4. The Radiance, Hollow Knight. In the same way the Moon Presence is the true final boss battle in Bloodborne, the Radiance is Hollow Knight's true and best ending. An adventure game that sees you explore a vast forgotten kingdom of insects and heroes, you play as a cute little knight out to bring the world to rights and rid it of any nasty enemies that get in your way. By the end of the game, you face up against a titular Hollow Knight and commit yourself to one of 3 endings. You can kill him outright and take his place, arrive with a void heart and lock away the evil that plagues the lands, or enter the Hollow Knight's dreams and take on the Radiance. A power player with attacks strong enough to end you in 5 hits, it's no easy feat taking out this giant ray of organic light and tendrils as it engulfs your screen, but managing it results in the wholesome restoration of Hallownest and the fulfillment of your central quest. She's sneakily hidden away with a specific item you must use to get her, the Dream Nail, so bear that in mind if you're out for harvesting some prime mothballs from this fluttery foe. 3. The Ebony Warrior, Skyrim. Skyrim as a whole has a whole load of interesting enemies to stick your sword in throughout the lands of the north. Whether it's massive dragons, Draugr, or giant spiders, there's plenty of magical creatures to happily kill off in the name of fun. There's also a handful of extra special ones just asking for a fight, from the Ghost of Karstag the Frost Giant to the Reaper himself. And the Ebony Warrior from the Dragonborn DLC is one of them. Dressed up in his finest ebony and out to meet his end in an attempt to get to Sovngarde, the warrior will find you out once you hit level 80, because he's nothing if not fair. Of course, a guy you need to be this leveled up for is going to be a hard fight, and is arguably the hardest one in the entire game, especially when you take into account that he's absolutely dripping in enchantments and magical armour, as well as a life-sucking sword that makes everything that much more of a terrible, terrible grind. It's all worth it when you loot his corpse and take it all for your own though. It's only fair, remember? 2. Morgan Freeman, South Park, The Fractured But Whole. Morgan Freeman, why did you do this? Quite clearly a large part of the game, the key to this appearing on this list is that he is in fact a secret enemy, not just a benevolent taco salesman that appears on the surface, and unlocking his fight takes a fair amount of preparation. The man appears in a cameo role as a Mexican restaurant owner and spiritual fart guide, and there's a mini-boss battle you can trigger if you provoke him enough. Going behind the counter and attacking him 3 times results in Mr. Freeman losing his rag. He then comes out for one of the hardest fights in the game, should you think you're hard enough to take on the Oscar-winning badass to unleash his husky-toned wrath. It's also a fight you don't want to pick unless you finish the game, loaded up on helpful inventory items, and gotten your might to at least 800. You're a bad person if all you want to do is kick the crap out of Morgan Freeman though. 1. Jevil, Deltarune. The latest game from Undertale's own Toby Fox dropped last week, and in the same vein as that pesky Skeleton Sans, Deltarune has its own super secret boss to be on the hunt for. This time, it's the Jevil, a combination of a jester and the devil. Do you see what they did there? The Jevil can only be encountered by getting on down to the question mark level, after collecting a bunch of broken keys from across the map, getting them smithed together, and opening up the suspiciously evil door to his cell, and then walking on in despite the bad feeling. You've got to be pretty intent on facing this guy to get to him, and when you do, there's no real rhyme or reason to any of his attacks to make it even harder. Defeating the Jevil gets you some tasty rewards though, so it's definitely worth giving him a bash and seeing what you get. Either pacify him or kill him outright, the choice is yours, but if Undertale is anything to go by, you might want to be careful with the latter. And that's our list. What secret baddies have you intrepid explorers discovered? Share your findings in the comment section below. I've been Ash and this has been WhatCulture Gaming. Make sure to subscribe to the WhatCulture YouTube channel for more lists like this, and don't forget to visit whatculture.com for daily news and articles. Thanks for watching.